Okay, YouTubes, I said I was going to make a video on the Launch Kontrol firing system that I bought. So here it is. This is what you get. Well, actually, you get 3 packs of igniters. There's 5 clips in each pack. You get your receiver, infrared. It does have continuity lights on it. And you get your infrared remote. This takes 3 AA's. Pretty easy to come by. This takes a watch battery. See if I can get it open here. CR 2032 watch battery. Okay, let's see here. The igniter clips go in right here. It only takes their brand of igniter clips. Okay, we got our clips plugged in. Hold the setup button on the remote for a couple seconds. Turn down there. Now when we turn the system on, the lights will blink. When that's blinking, you get, a few seconds to tap the setup button, and that'll program it to this receiver. Okay, lights are blinking. Okay, now we're programmed. Now it won't fire for 12 more seconds. It's not active until that stuff starts blinking. Now if you have a igniter that doesn't have continuity, it won't light up. It'll stay dark. Then you'll know that one has a problem. Now when you're ready to fire, you just hit the fire button and it goes through the order sequential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't hit, there's no button for each cue. You can't decide, oh, okay, I'll hit 3 this time and now I'll go back and hit 2. Doesn't work that way. You can only go in order. There's an emergency stop. Okay, now it's in stop mode. Now once that happens, you can't start it back up with the remote. You have to actually go out there, turn it off, turn it back on, set it back up, go through the process again. Okay, another con, this is infrared, like a TV remote. You have to have line of sight between these 2 eyes. Your module has to be up out of the grass, and you have to have line of sight. Another thing with infrared, doesn't work great in the daylight or any sunlight, but if you're shooting fireworks, it should be dark anyway, so you shouldn't have any problem with that. I used this one at about 85 feet and didn't have any issues. Just had to be up out of the lawn so that it had a good line of sight, and it worked just fine. This wire is long. We'll say that's a pro. Alright, here's their clips. It's got the cues numbered on there. Leave these rubber bands on there. That's what squeezes it down onto the fuse. You just break them off, peel them down as far as you need to go. You can't see it, but there's a little tiny nichrome wire in there. That wire is what heats up and lights your fuse. Stick your fuse in there like so. Just let the rubber band hold down on it, and it's on. Now if you have a cake with a thick visco with like a lot of lacquer on it, and this is true for all consumer igniters, not just the Launch Kontrol ones. I'll show you a little trick with that. Okay, if you want to increase the reliability of your igniters, grab your quick fuse. Just get a little chunk. That's what's going to go in your igniter. Then you're going to tape the cake fuse, or your mortar rack fuse, to that chunk. Because this quick fuse lights a hell of a lot easier than this lacquered visco. But the quick fuse has no problem lighting the visco once you tape them together. Now, because it uses only its own clips, you see it's not just exposed wires like every other clip. You can't put anything in parallel and pop, 2 or 3 matches at the same time. What you could do if you had more than one of these systems is set them up 2 receivers to 1 transmitter, and you could pop 2 matches that way. Another way to get around it is, once you've used up one of these, clip off the wires, hook that into like a speaker box terminal, and that'll make you a little adapter so you can use every other igniter out there. But if you're going to go through all that effort, you may as well just spend $100 and get a decent firing system that's radio and actually has a button for HQ. Okay, now I'm going to try and go through all the steps here. Hook up your igniters. Sorry, you're supposed to turn the remote on first. Hold it down for a second. Turn the box on. Set up the remote. Now there's a 12-second delay before you can fire. And these igniters, I will say, they burn a little hotter. They're damn good. Alright, let's try it out. We're going to try number 1. And there it goes. Now you see number 1 went out, and the rest are blinking. The next one I hit will be number 2. So I push this button again, number 2 goes. Say we're setting up our show, and we've got a problem with 2 igniters. Right away, those 2 continuity lights are out. You know there's a problem. Those aren't going to light. You either have to change up the clip or figure out what the problem is, which is pretty nice. For $20, I can't complain. Okay, now say you have started out with 2 bad igniters. Is it going to start out on number 3? Also, this is the thick lacquer cannon fuse. This stuff's usually pretty hard to light with consumer igniters. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Fast, no problem. I will say, even though you can only use its own igniters with it, they do seem to light a little hotter than the other stuff I've seen, which is kind of nice. For the pros for this system, I would say it's wireless. It's only $20, and that $20 includes 15 igniters. So that is, for your money, you can't beat it. You can set up multiple modules. It is a multi-queue wireless system. You got 5 queues. The batteries are cheap. It doesn't take a whole lot of batteries. It does have continuity lights. And the the igniters that it uses are not really that bad. They light pretty damn good. I was impressed for what they are. On the cons, on that same side, it does only use its own igniters, and the whole system, which comes with 15 igniters, costs $20. If you want to buy just 15 more igniters, that's $8. So buying the refills is a little bit disproportionate to the price of the whole system, but they got to make their money somewhere. Another con is the infrared, sunlight, line of sight. I know I've had mine work at about 85 feet. I imagine it wouldn't be any problem to work at 100 feet. You can't hook it up in parallel to pop, 2 or 3 igniters at the same time. To wrap it all up, I'd say for a neighborhood show, this is going to make you look like a professional compared to the other guys running around out there with punk sticks. If you're actually going to put on a professional show, this is not the way to go. But for $20 for a backyard show, it's perfect. So that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed.